Today is August 25th. It's Policy Advisory Committee. I'll go around the room and see who's here. Stephanie, we'll start with you.
Hi, Stephanie Russo, Director of Human Resources.
Leslie Powell, Director of Finance.
Rob Mezzanotte, Assistant Superintendent.
Kenny Duba, Superintendent.
Erin Earl, School Committee Chair.
Andrew Hennius, Attorney for the Committee.
Jennifer Lima, School Committee Member. Next on the agenda is Citizens' Comments. We do not have anybody here. Did everybody have the opportunity to review the minutes from the last meeting, which was on June 23rd? Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Second? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Just for clarification.
I was not there, so I'm not going to vote on it.
Okay. Just for clarification, there are 4 voting members here, myself, Dr. Earl, Dr. Juba, and Rob. Okay, next up are policies for discussions. The first one to be discussed is GCB non-unit benefits. We last discussed this at our last meeting on June 23rd. We had a couple outstanding items as well as a request for some fiscal impact statements, and then we had some outstanding comments that needed to be resolved. Stephanie, do you want to walk us through?
Sure. Do you want to go like comment by comment or from the,
I think so.
what was that?
I think
Yes,
so.
please.
Okay, I'm sorry, sometimes I can't. Alright, so, looks like the first page, there was nothing new, no comments, correct? So, second page, we already talked about vacation, accruals. So I think the first comment was on, number C, right before paid holidays. And we wanted to include the language that we just put into the Director of Facilities contract on vacation time. So I entered in that language as it was written.
And Andrew, this is the language exactly as it was written in the contract?
That we just did for facilities?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I thought the last sentence was redundant, so I did strike it out. I don't know if I did it in the right color, but I put the line to that. But in accordance with the above guidelines prior to such termination, that piece, that one I took out. Okay, so there was a question about non-unit personnel. So this policy is called the Personnel Benefit Policy for Non-Unit Administrative and Supervisory Personnel. So I don't know if we want to change the wording, but we do have some references of non-unit. So we could take it out everywhere, we could change the title, we could keep it in, but whatever you decide, we'll go through and take it out or leave it in or.
Is there a
You
reason
lost
to
me.
change-
Yes,
Is there a
sir.
reason to change it?
So, well, because there was a comment, and it was, are we referring to anyone as non-unit personnel? So we've defined, under terms and definitions, the first term is non-unit personnel are all such positions which function outside of an established and approved employee group. So
I'm confused about what sorry, Stephanie, what comment are you talking about?
Am I not seeing the right?
So there
No,
was
you're
a,
page
there was a
3.
comment that you had made, I think it was referring to the addition of that C, cause
Yeah.
the beginning says non-unit,
Non-unit
so I think it was
personnel.
just questioning
Are we
if we were in
referring
fact
to
keeping
three?
that or not.
So we do refer to non-unit in some of the sections. So, and we have under terms and definitions. The policy's called non-unit administrative. So I didn't know if that was the question, if you're asking should we take it out, if we should change that first group, that first sentence there in C, I wasn't quite sure.
Great question. I don't know if it was mine. I was taking like notes on behalf of
Yeah.
the group. So just because
Yep.
I typed the comment doesn't necessarily mean it was my
Okay.
laundry.
Yeah.
Although it does sound like me. Non-unit personnel
which it is defined under terms, so I think it's okay.
Why were we talking about this?
But there's nobody in this policy who wouldn't be non-unit
Right.
personnel, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
This policy is for, so
Only-
anyone that's part of a union, they have.
So I think what I was, okay, wait, I think I got it. I think what I was saying is, why would we say non-unit personnel if that statement applied to anyone within this? So I think it
Right.
was
So
the
we could-
call out, like, are there anyone that are in this policy that are not non-unit personnel? I think that's where that comment probably stems from.
So we
So I
could-
don't think it's necessarily like that they're in or they're not in, it's that C didn't need to specifically call
Yeah.
out non-unit personnel.
So we could
I
strike-
think that's what it means.
Strike that out and just stop the sentence with personnel who are eligible, or
Employees.
employees
Individuals.
who are eligible for vacation under these rules, and just
Mm-hmm.
started there, employees or personnel, and get rid of the non-unit.
And what we can do is we can make sure that we don't do that anywhere else in the document, so it would only be in two places, in the title, the first sentence, and then when we describe non-unit, and then everywhere else, we would just call them employees.
Mm-hmm.
We can just.
Yeah, you would wanna, if you were gonna do that,
We should define.
we should just say like, who will be referenced in this policy as employees.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then there is sometimes where we have differential, like, employees, so like the administrative and supervisory 1 and supervisory 2, so
So if
I
we're
think
gonna-
just thinking
I guess
through
if we're gonna
what
do
that
that,
looks
why don't
like.
we just keep it as non-unit personnel, because now we're adding another term in there that we have to define just to replace non-unit personnel, why don't we just leave it?
you could use it to write it every
So
time.
How about individuals who are eligible for vacation under this policy?
Yeah, that's fine, just keep it
Yeah, that
simpler,
works.
yeah.
So
Okay, who's gonna
typing
edit?
it in right now?
Jennifer, you, I'm not touching it if you don't
This
want.
is Stephanie's policy, I'm not taking it.
So can
Okay.
can I take the notes and then we'll create a clean copy of it, is that, are we
Yeah.
okay with that?
Okay, so we don't wanna make comments in here?
I would put a comment
I
in there
think
to
making
attract-
comments in here is.
We will leave the comments and edits up to you all. Jen and I are not gonna touch
Okay.
it
I
in
was-
like the best way.
Yeah,
I'll
I would
make-
put,
Okay.
I would just reply back to the comment.
Alright, so then
that
I'm
was-
gonna make the assumption that any comment that you're making, right,
I'll
from you right now.
I'll reply to this
is what I
comment,
have.
and now I forgot what we said. So we said that
Individuals who are eligible for vacation under this policy.
individuals,
I'll make a comment, I just don't wanna make a change, how's that?
It's actually really just adding individuals, cause it already says who are eligible for vacation, it says under these rules, but you just change it to individuals who are eligible for
okay, so
vacation under
replace,
this
replace
policy.
non-unit personnel
Yep.
with just individuals.
Yeah, pretty much, and then maybe under these rules, change that to this policy.
Actually, I'm doing a search, there's not many
I
reliable
think I had
strikes,
already done the
so I
strike.
think that's,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the only spot.
Yeah,
I just did a search for non-unit personnel.
I think that's probably, that's why we said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never did
So we wanna
without
make
saying
this as a comment rather than just changing it?
No, you can change it, I'm just saying, this is not like our policy, like I make changes to our like policies
Jen makes
that we
changes that
draft.
she started or like
Right.
she doesn't wanna,
I don't wanna change a
mess up
policy
Stephanie's
that's
document.
not mine, does that make sense?
Well, and we were
and they're all
trying to do
ours
that.
collectively, but yes, I hear you.
Draft
Right.
that
It's not
I
a- it's
have
not a
brought
draft.
forward.
Make a
I-
change.
it's not a draft that I brought forward.
I get what you're saying,
Comment,
Jen.
and we'll go in and do it.
okay.
That brings me
So I
to
just
the
put
question
replace
then.
non-unit personnel with individuals,
Yep.
replace these.
Just, that's it, that's the only sentence, just strike that.
Got it.
So what do you wanna do with the definition then? Just keep it the same,
I would,
even though we never reference it?
well, we do, because it's in the title.
Yeah.
We actually don't reference it, so in the definition, can we say non-unit personnel are these people and we define them as administrative, supervisory, or
Yeah.
whatever?
You could just eliminate that, and again, similar to what Jen just said, this
Yeah.
policy applies to all such positions
Yeah, I don't
which
think you
function
need it.
outside of
Yeah.
the,
Like it could still, the title of the thing could still be non-unit, but I think you don't need to then,
So you getting rid of the term, Leslie?
no, just like
No.
you'd have the intro paragraph, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily designate them as non-unit personnel, cause
Correct.
everyone in the policy in theory is non-unit personnel. Right here,
In the purpose?
no, under terms and definitions.
Terms and
Okay.
definitions, and I think we could just take it out of the purpose.
Right there, can you see where I highlighted it?
So we
Like,
could just
I don't
say
think you
for all
need-
employment for all administrative and supervised
Oh, the
personnel.
first sentence?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just all such personnel which function outside blah blah blah, and then it's like our following classifications. So then you don't have like a classification and then subclassifications. You just have the 3 classifications under like the umbrella of non-unit.
So you good with that? Or no? You good? Yep. Alright. So did you have another question, Erin? You were saying something about your next, or no? Do you want me to keep going? Okay. So Jen, you had a comment, does this tie back to the language you just put in? So we talked about that.
Yeah, we just talked
Yep.
about that.
And
So this isn't a comment, but in looking at it under entitlement / accrual, it says all personnel are entitled to sick leave in accordance with the provisions set forth in this agreement. This isn't an agreement, it's a policy. We should make sure that word is changed throughout the policy, from agreement to policy.
It shows up 3 times.
okay, so
Agreement.
let's change the word
Yeah.
agreement to policy.
Anytime they copied and pasted it from.
From a contract.
Well, one time it says if the teacher's agreement results in, so that one's normal. One says the health insurance, the healthcare one on page 7 needs to be changed,
Okay.
and the reference to it on the top of page 4. So one time it can stay, the other 2 times it needs to be changed.
Okay. We'll do that.
So 7 can stay, or is it 4?
The one that references the teacher's agreement can stay, so page 1 definitely needs to change, and page
7 has to change. It looks like.
7 has to change, correct.
So page 1 and page 7. Alright, so I think the next question was, we're gonna change the policy. I don't think that the personal and the sick days, I don't think those were questions, I think those were just statements that we had looked at in the past. I think
Where are
that-
we?
I'm just trying to get to the next question, so, under the health and dental, I added in the statement about the spouses, the buybacks, in marriage, so what I added was, staff shall enroll in healthcare benefits either at the time of hire or during the annual open enrollment period, so that's new. And then I put part-time employees defined as an employee working less than 30 hours per week are not eligible for the buyback. This payment shall be made June of the year of the waiver. Should the member desire coverage, the member must notify the school department and shall receive coverage on the first of the month following notice if there is a qualifying event. Buybacks will not be paid to employees who are not employed by the school department at the start of the fiscal year and remain employed through June 1. That I took directly out of the new ESP contract. That's what we put in. I didn't list, Jen, all the qualifying events because it's really long.
So can you say a list of qualifying events may be found at?
In the, like, at the HR office or where?
Oh, where are they, where are they? Like, where, if we wanna look at what those qualifying events are, what,
I
is there a
mean,
specific
Cause
document?
how would somebody know
Is
what a
there-
qualifying event is?
Could we put them on our website, like under the HR office?
Well, where are they now? Like, is there a document we give to people so they're aware of that?
I mean, we tell them during like orientation, I don't know if Blue Cross in the packet, Blue Cross made, when they give us their coverage, I don't know if they give us like what the qualifying events are, I mean, it's through like Blue Cross. But it's
Is it
not
on
even
their
Blue Cross,
website?
it's more than Blue Cross, it's like a statute,
So why
state.
don't, alright, so then why don't we look into that to see where those are listed? And then we can just reference in here to that document.
Or we could attach it as like an addendum in case anything ever changes, or
Like appendix.
appendix or.
Appendix A.
Right.
It just
But
depends
we
if it
don't-
changes.
We don't reference this in either teacher contract, we don't list them in an ESPA contract, we don't list them.
I think that's an oversight, to be honest with you, because like how, if I'm an employee and I'm looking at this, and how do I know if I'm in a qualifying event, if I don't even know what a qualifying event is?
They call us.
Well, then maybe
So
we
what-
could note something, like, you know, like, if you
So
have,
why don't-
like, something
let's
about
just
that,
See,
yeah.
Find where that is.
United Healthcare has a list.
I would
but
think that
I don't
Blue
know if
Cross
Blue
probably
Cross
has
does.
Blue
them.
Cross does.
Blue Cross probably has a
Blue
list,
Cross probably
or the
has-
trust.
Yeah, or the trust.
The
So I
trust.
can definitely get something, and we can either put it on the website under HR, we can attach it as a addendum or a exhibit, or I don't know, whatever people feel is the best.
So we wanna just include something here that has a reference to.
So I do have like a list of, but, is this the full list? I would like to have that from, and I got this off the internet, like I wanna get it from Blue Cross or from the trust or somebody.
It sounds like it is a moving target too, like as far as like being a list that's not controlled by us.
Right.
So I wonder if it should just be like to be provided a list of qualifying events, or if you need clarification regarding qualifying events, like contact HR, because it sounds like whatever time and moment that is, like you would call whatever place is the appropriate place to call and get that list. Like I don't think
Yeah, this isn't given a
we
great
should have
list
what
either.
is currently
No.
posted. We
Yeah.
should have links on our
Yeah,
website
I
to the
just
current,
think
but I don't
something-
think we're gonna be able to
I mean, we
memorialize
talked
it in the
through-
policy like that.
Yeah.
Right.
This with our employees, so they'll call us and say, my husband just got a new job and we wanna go on there, and then we talk them through the process.
Yeah.
Or we just had a baby, right, and so say you're a single individual, you just had a
And so
baby,
if you have any
you go
questions
onto a
regarding
family
qualifying
plan.
events,
s-
contact
something,
HR, and then you
contact,
can
just
point them to
something,
Blue Cross
yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah.
And sometimes, there's a lot of different things that could,
Depends on
All I'm
Jen.
saying is for questions regarding
Right, so-
qualifying events,
Just
see
get-
XYZ, whatever
Yes.
XYZ is.
I would just contact Blue Cross, 'cause just in a Google search.
The
and
state
find it,
has-
But it's,
Yeah, I'm on Blue Cross of Rhode
Sorry.
Island. It's not a great list,
It's
or it's not a
not.
very
and if you go to
Helpful.
different
It's
places, I
usually
feel like
new
you're
job,
getting.
baby, death,
newlyweds
marriage.
expecting,
Yeah.
moving to
FSA.
RI, turning 26, loss of coverage is
yeah, I
what they
wouldn't
have.
put the complete list in the policy, I would just reference to where we can get it.
Okay, so you've got that written down?
Yep.
Do we just wanna say something for questions about qualifying events, please contact HR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Steve.
And we should put the HR email.
I'm on Blue
what's going
Cross,
on.
it doesn't give you
There's
much at all.
an HR email, it's like HR@nkSD.net.
Yep,
HR.
like give them as much info as possible, make it as easy as possible.
My work has it under employee benefits, so they have a list of qualifying events under employee benefits. So I don't know if we have like in a similarly appropriate place
Right,
to put
something
said
can go
list.
under our,
You can go on the
Employee
employee
service.
self-serve as
Yeah.
well.
let's just get them, 'cause when I look at it here, it just says
This is
newlyweds
just on our
expecting,
website.
moving around, turning 26, loss of coverage, so. it's-
Okay, so we're gonna post them to somewhere, right?
This is just the one that is the state of Rhode Island
Oh, okay.
and like what their list is, It's- but like just to give you an example of what they post.
Mhm.
And cause if we do post something, you could always post like a caveat on like, to check with HR.
Mhm.
Like before, if you have questions before
Yep.
doing XYZ.
Okay, so then I added the next paragraph about married employees. Married employees of the North Kingstown School District are not eligible to enroll in the district's health insurance plan and simultaneously receive the insurance buyback. To qualify for the buyback, the employee and spouse must be covered under a medical insurance plan provided by a group other than the North Kingstown School District. Does that make sense?
When you say group, do you mean employer?
No, like healthcare group.
It's healthcare group. That's how we had it. The research I could find from a school committee meeting in the past, they defined it as the group number. So like this, we have like a couple plans and they have this group ID number. So if two people are married here and one of them is in that group number, then they can't get the buyback. So they would have to be not to get the buyback.
And choose different groups. Would that ever happen with us?
Are you saying the subscriber group number?
It's like the plan policy number. This-
Right, you're not talking about like the coverage level, you're talking about like, NKSD is group number 123 with Blue Cross, right? And the town of North Kingstown is also 123, or are they like 1, 2, 3, 4?
They're different, but, so you would have to be with Blue Cross, with CVS, and their plan is this.
Right, so it's,
Well, I guess, so back to my question, would this ever happen? Like, do they ever have a different number working for us?
So we have a couple plans with different numbers, so you could
Mhm.
have a teacher well, so say if they were both single, they could have those, well, they, I don't know. Maybe they had, one had a family plan, one had an individual plan, and they get married.
Yep. Are they eligible?
If they take our insurance, you're not, if either spouse takes our insurance, you're not eligible for the buyback. I mean,
Right, so we should write it like that then.
we could
to
take
qualify.
out.
Yeah, that, it's
Yeah.
not clear from this, that's what it
Basically,
says.
if anybody in the family takes North Kingston's health
Yes.
insurance, you're not eligible for the buyback.
Yes.
Yeah, this is not clear.
Yeah, yeah, so let's work on that
Okay.
last sentence. You,
Well, cause this is.
valiant effort, Stephanie,
Well, because
honestly, I see where you're going with that,
but
but I think,
I tried to take this language from what came from that school committee meeting some years ago.
yep,
So that's how I came up with this
So
language.
did we previously provide a buyback?
Yes.
Not to marry.
Not to marry.
Well, it wasn't supposed to be for married.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's usually
We
how that
changed it
happens, it was
because
never
I
intended that you
remember when
find
it
out
first
some,
came in, there was,
yeah,
one
there
spouse
was
was
discourse
who's
about
getting the
it,
Yes.
conversation.
Conversation.
in the past there was, and then it got changed.
But I think
Probably
it got
back
changed
from
in one
that
of the union
school meeting.
contracts. It got changed in one of the union contracts, didn't it?
must have.
I'm pretty sure. And
It's
so,
Let me see what that language is.
crystal clear. It's there, but, yeah.
I mean, yeah, just the first sentence is sufficient.
Right, so I gave it a shot, we will definitely can change it
So,
to make it
so
sound
the
more
intent
clear.
of this is if you're going to get the buyback, your spouse must be employed by a different company.
Correct.
Yes.
or be getting
Correct.
insurance from somewhere else,
From
like,
Right,
Which I
yeah,
don't
different,
know.
they
I don't-
cannot work here as well.
Right, and so and that it's not clear.
Doesn't matter
from
what
this.
union,
Yes.
what level,
Yeah.
if you're
Right.
in ESP and you're in
Yeah.
an EAR, like, it doesn't matter.
right.
So-
would just the first sentence be enough?
So married employees.
I feel like it would.
That first sentence might be enough.
It, are not, but it makes it sound like married employees are not eligible to enroll in the district health insurance plan.
It's not clear.
That sentence is not clear.
And simultaneous, like,
The second part's fine, and simultaneously receive the insurance buyback, like, I think,
Okay, so we gotta reword,
okay.
like, that first part of the sentence,
okay,
Right?
married employees of the North Kingston, what we're saying is that they,
Just
they
say are not eligible to
Are not-
receive the insurance buyback.
are not eligible to receive the
If
insurance.
either
back.
party is insured by the district.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
We want the insurance buyback first in the sentence.
So is he writing that somewhere?
How many
I'll
married
put it as a
couples do we
comment.
have?
Okay,
more than you would think.
so you would say this,
It
married
definitely affected
employees.
some, I remember.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good amount,
So
so maybe
married
that was something
employees
I
of
had
the
to go
North
over
Kingston
when.
School District.
Yeah.
are not
It was a
It was a
eligible
handful,
to receive
but a
the
handful,
insurance
like
buyback
12 people,
if
like, you know,
either
like,
party
I remember,
Are not
it was not
eligible,
one.
Okay.
Some that
eligible
were here for many
to
years.
receive
They were
the
receiving.
insurance
Yeah.
buyback
insurance buyback
if
I think it's
either
fairly
if either party.
common.
is insured
not-
by the
Oh, it is
district's
my
health
company does the
insurance.
same
No, we would
Yeah.
do, we do the same
Yeah.
thing as well, yeah.
Districts, there you go, that's good,
okay.
health insurance.
And I know that as being, having been married to my spouse working for the same company, we were not eligible for that.
Alright, so, I'm gonna take a look at the comment. It's all Leslie.
It's all- Wait, what?
Are we good with that section, that sentence
Yeah,
when we update?
yeah, if you, can you, I just
I
kind of
think so.
reworded it a little.
Employees being not eligible to receive insurance buyback, either party is insured by the just health insurance. Yeah, I think that's good.
Is everyone okay with that?
Where am I reading?
In the
And
note.
comment that he added.
We good to move on?
Legally, should it say both or either, or does it matter? Is either cover us, the word either? In the insurance?
Both or either,
Yeah,
right?
right, you'd want,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, either may, but both makes it crystal clear.
yeah. That's what I was thinking,
Both
or either.
or either.
So it's basically saying like, if you're both insured, or either of you are insured, you are not gonna go with it.
And so we'll just replace that section with
Mhm.
that sentence.
Okay, so the next section was under retirement, and this original document said 35 hours, but I've never known it to be 35 hours, I've always known it to be 20 hours, so I did print out the Rhode Island, chapter 21 retirement of municipal employees, general law, and it says 20. So, that's what we've always used, if you work if you work 20 hours, you
You're eligible.
contribute to the pension system, right, Leslie? All the payroll is 20 hours or more.
I believe, but I would
So-
have to confirm that.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the general law here, and,
I couldn't even get in the system right now if I
Right,
wanted to,
so-
because it's down,
right here.
otherwise I would look.
And then I did another search that's attached to the back of that, and it said 20 hours. And that's what we do in payroll, I know this.
That's what the law is, and it's not
I mean,
doing.
So,
So
and
the
then-
35 you're saying was in the,
I
is
don't-
it was in the original
that was
document?
in the original document, but I don't.
2521.
Yeah, the statute says right in it, minimum of 20.
Are you in the statute, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
But that's
don't-
municipal employees, I
Yeah,
just,
we're
we just
not-
double check to make sure that
yeah.
the school employees isn't something different.
Yeah, and I printed out the back of that, Rob, has, about the school people, school employees. That was just for a search.
What are you talking about here?
That was it. So, that was one search, and then another search. School employees, it says. Part-time workers, minimum 20 hours a week, accrue full-time service credit if they follow the full-time day structure.
So Andrew, if that's what the law is, then we're good with.
We're not sure, he's checking
Well, that's for
to see if it's
municipal employees,
municipal.
teachers is a little
Mhm.
different, but this wouldn't apply to teachers anyway, right?
Yep.
Because this is only your non-union people.
Right,
However, some people were
so, let's say.
in the,
Uh-huh.
were teachers, part of that retirement system and should not change when you move into being an administrator.
See, this is engaged in teaching as their principal occupation and regularly employed, which then goes on to say the number of days in school, that wouldn't
It
necessarily
doesn't
be
say
the school.
hours though, right?
Yeah, yep.
This is more for a part-time,
Administrator?
somebody who, I wouldn't say administrator, because they hold a cert, and they're under the other retirement system, right?
Why does it say repealed?
But somebody who works here in the office who's part-time has to work 20 hours to qualify.
I can confirm and see what we do in the, what we have in all the payroll files, but I don't have access to that right now. I would have to look, after the meeting, I'll have to look tomorrow. And see if I can find anything that we have in there.
Retirement board shall decide who employees in the meaning of this chapter, but in no case shall deem an employee an individual who annually devotes less than 20 hours per week to service of the municipality and receives less than the equivalent. But then what happens when it says something where it says except as it provided in blah 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 and then it says repealed? What does that mean? That doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't exactly, 45, 21, 14, which is.
Alright, why don't we pause that,
Yeah.
we don't wanna mess this one up, cause it's not ours to mess up, so. Let's maybe keep going and circle back on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Andrew,
I think it's
weigh
as
in, I would
easy.
just make a note, Rob, to say that
Mhm.
Andrew needs to weigh in on
It says
whether it's
repeal,
20 or
yeah,
35.
I'll double check, but that just means that's null and
Yep.
void.
It makes me nervous to just change it, not that we don't find mistakes in the policies, but I feel like
They were put there for a
they put
reason.
35 for a reason, and I
And I
don't know,
couldn't
you know what I
find
mean?
why.
Like, that doesn't seem like a mistake that, it seems odd to, cause where did we get it from?
What is this, as simple as just calling ERSRI tomorrow and getting the documentation from them as to what they require for what we're sending them?
Yeah, it could be.
Which we can certainly do.
Great.
Okay.
Like, from what I'm seeing, it's 20, but like, it seems weird that they would have put 35. Cause that's from old language, right? That's not like,
It's-
we didn't
yeah.
just
That's
type
what,
that.
yeah, and I'm trying to figure out whether this was amended, it's been amended a bunch of times, but, so maybe that amendment came after. Was it 24, 15, 2011, when was this?
And if the RSRI can give us an answer, they might be able to provide backup in writing that we can have on file with this, so we can at least document
Okay.
why we do.
Huh?
So the next section was about, the question was about upon retirement and meeting ERSRI requirement criteria and after 10 consecutive years. I think the question was, is it both? And it is, you have to meet the requirements and 10 years of service. The only thing I would say in there is that we did change it, the ESP union, we put an age. If
We
we'd
did,
like-
we
If
did.
we'd like to add that.
They,
We put it to upon retirement, meaning like the age of 60, I believe, or 62.
but did we do that because they were not comfortable with it saying ERSRI retirement criteria?
Yes.
Okay.
But to be consistent, we could keep it consistent if you like.
And then.
Is that a question? I'm sorry, I'm lost in
So-
your.
So, this here on this policy right now, we have upon retirement and meeting ERSRI requirements criteria.
Where are you?
Under retirement in the red section,
What page? 8, thank you.
So we changed that wording in the ESP contract.
Well,
put
well,
an
we didn't
age.
change it.
We added
They
an
didn't have
age.
this in at all. We proposed
Right,
the upon retirement
Well,
or meeting ERSRI
right.
criteria, and they preferred us to do it as an age.
right, but we're proposing it here also, and so do we wanna be consistent, or do we wanna,
Consistent, always, in my opinion.
so then we
Consistent,
wanna
good.
Yep.
change that age, and so let me bring up the ESP.
But I do still think that we said that they had to meet retirement, like ERSRI retirement criteria.
Like, it seems like we're still moving.
I think it's best to see if anything else comes up, questions before you,
So can they, do you wanna have them follow, like, instead of like looking
Well,
up
I would-
stuff, maybe,
Right, I would skip over this, right?
yeah, make a note of what we need to look up and then
Okay.
keep going, just in the
Okay.
interest of time, and
Alright, so
then,
just put the same wording, do you have
what-
it?
I don't think
What-
that's.
No, I know, I don't have it, and I had
No,
I just
go
had a
back-
question on one of the questions.
Go back and we're gonna check for, see if we want that in there for consistency and make sure that it does line up with that.
Okay,
But let's keep going, so
Okay.
we're not.
Yeah, let's just like
spending
make a
time
note of what we need to do
reviewing.
and then we'll.
So we wanna check for
look up stuff.
consistency with the ESP contract, correct? That's what we're,
Language, we're looking for the language,
Contract language,
so that
yes.
we can be consistent, is what I heard.
And Jen, to your question, when you're asking, is this after 10 years, I'm assuming you're referring to the sick payout, correct?
Yes.
So my understanding was that, yes, the
needs to be
entire
moved
thing is
up
part of
then.
retirement, so it will need to be moved up, so it's clear that you have to meet all of those to get your sick payout as well.
Yeah, right now it's kind of just like
Hanging out.
hanging out there, so I think I could make a rationale that like, I've been here for 8 years, it's not connected to that 10 years, I would like my payout. So I think it definitely needs to either be like in that sentence or explicitly said, like, also after 10 consecutive years upon retirement, blah, blah, blah. Rob, you gonna make a
Yep,
note?
I will.
Awesome, thank you.
Specify 10 years in the statement.
So looks like the next section we need to go to is salary computations.
yep. So the basic salary, I think we all agreed to that first base salary paragraph. I think the change was just in the wording of, like, the structure of the sentence. Longevity, or do we wanna talk more about that? Are we okay with that? I thought we were.
Base salary, you
Base
mean?
salary.
Yeah, I think it got
So it's
cleaned
a
up
minimum
and
of
like
2%
wordsmithed to
regardless.
read better
Mhm.
and make more sense.
I don't think it's still in the comments, so it, like, nobody
That-
moved it over.
That needs to get in
Yeah.
there.
No, it looks like it got typed over.
No, when I
No,
had
no,
that
it's still-
comment,
it's still in the
different.
comments.
It's still in the
Yeah.
comments, okay.
So we'll bring that over to the,
I think that was the intent, yeah.
okay.
Or, I mean, the way that we left this was that we had worked on it, and then my understanding was that you all were gonna take our comments, think about some of the answers, and then bring back kind of like a clean copy, and so I think that's why we just put comments in, cause they were really for you all to say yes, no, and put in before you brought back this next draft, so I don't think it's a mandate that that language has to be exactly like that, I think that's what we came up with in the last meeting for your all's consideration.
But I think Leslie and I read it and felt, right, that it was, this language here was
Oh,
okay.
yeah, no, I think, I
Yeah.
definitely think that it reads better. Now that it's confirmed, we'll just vote for it.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we're gonna move this language over.
So for the longevity, I tried to put in the comment, the schedules for the teachers and the ESP, but I couldn't put it into the comment, I don't know, wouldn't go into it, but I have it. If we wanted to see, if like that was the comment, like what is the ESP getting, and what are the teachers getting? Was that, I think that was the question, and why did we maybe pick what we have?
I would prefer to pass on this until we get to the fiscal impact statement.
Okay.
And just keep going.
Alright, so, but I do have it if you wanna see. So, Leslie, after looking at the comments for the stipends, we were gonna remove them. Are we gonna wait on that?
For the degree, maybe?
For the degrees.
Which we can talk about in fiscal
Fiscal
impact, but that's
impact.
my recommendation, at least for now. I can talk about it now, or we can wait and do it all at once.
We can do it with the fiscal impact.
Okay.
Cause that's, we didn't cross that off, you
No,
all,
I crossed
like,
it
yeah,
off,
so
yeah.
you know what I mean, like you all, but that, because of money, so you can tell us about that when we talk about that piece.
And so then merit, that's also
Mhm.
with the fiscal impact.
Which I think is the end, so.
There was one, the last one, and
That's what that
you
means.
wrote, Erin, need
When
to
you wrote that
see.
why, it was 'cause of fiscal impact. Got it. Huh?
There was one last comment, and you wrote need to see, and I wasn't sure what you needed to see. So it's near the evaluations?
I think
Like the,
it says attached, and it's not attached,
oh, okay,
so we need to see it,
alright,
so that we can know if it's, you know, it just said attached, and there was no
okay.
attachment.
I think we had them with us at one point, but I do have them.
The evaluations?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
Well.
I need a
No.
blank evaluation, I don't need people's
Yeah, you might
evaluations, I
need-
just need like the template, like that's what, if it's saying it's gonna be
For the
attached to this.
non-certified
Would that be
staff.
would that go in here?
I don't know, you all wrote attached.
No,
Do we
well,
want that attached?
We
I've
had
never heard of
decided
that.
during the other negotiations that they wanted the evaluations attached, so for consistency, we said if we're attaching it in ESP and we're doing that, we should
Oh.
attach it.
I thought we were
Here.
just attaching the ones we were using, not for administrators, or are we attaching them all, or are we just attaching the ones that we're using?
You all are looking at me, I did
Yeah.
not
No,
think they were attached.
My understanding
I-
was
I-
that they were all going to be
Not
attached, so that everybody knew and had an understanding of what it was, just like
I
we do
mean,
in
I
other
do like
contracts.
transparency and consistency personally, and I like employees to know what, like, I always think about like, you want, like, in employees being evaluated under policy, like, it makes sense, like, that they would have access to that, but also I get why it would be weird to attach it too, I don't know. It would also, like, have it be approved within the policy so that a supervisor can just change it on them, like, it would be, but also I didn't read attached, so.
Right, so there are different ones for different groups of people, Kenny.
Right,
So,
so we just go attach them.
I think there's at least two, so we would attach them.
I only know of two evaluations. It's the one that I brought in that we use with all of the directors,
Yep.
and assistant directors, any coordinators. And then there's the one that's used amongst all of the
Yeah,
other positions.
so we could attach those
Which
two.
is the shorter version.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so we will provide attachments.
Before we move on to the fiscal impact statement, I had a couple general questions, just in terms of consistency between the contracts and this policy. And I may have missed this, so please let me know if I did. GCB and the NEA&K both specifically mentioned being able to use sick leave for family illnesses, but I didn't see that in the ESP contract.
The new ESP contract?
That would be the one.
Yeah. So I think we might have gotten rid of the determination in that contract, whether you can use your sick time, how many days can you use for family and for yourself? Is that your question?
I'm questioning that there's no mention of being able to use it for, specifically for family illness. There is mention of being able to use it for other reasons, but not for family illness.
Okay.
So that,
So we
when,
should,
with this policy, like, I think we're trying to have some consistency, but like, if a union did not negotiate in certain language into their policy, then it's not in their contract.
Okay, I'm just
Like,
pointing it
yeah.
out.
No,
Look
the
at that.
discrepancy is pointed out, but like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not, they're not always gonna match for those reasons, cause unions will determine like what they value, what they don't value, what they want in, what they don't want
Just
in.
raising the
I
issue.
know. I'm just saying.
Military leave and jury duty, it's not mentioned in this in this policy.
It should be.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's in the other ones, that's like something that's
Okay.
easy to put in this
Yeah.
one to make clear for the employees.
And tuition reimbursement, teacher contract says after 3 years of employment, there's no time stipulation in this policy or in the ESP contract.
So the teachers has 3 years of employment, this one does not, I don't know,
Again, I'm not advocating, I'm just
Yeah.
raising the discrepancies.
what was the other one, the military, and what was the other thing?
Jury
duty.
It's in the notes.
Okay, I know, I just. So is that something we wanna address, or as a group, or not, for the,
Tuition reimbursement?
yeah, do we wanna change what is in here?
What was the language that was?
I would have it be consistent
Yeah.
with what we're doing with all our other employees. So,
I think
we
it
have
would-
one group waiting for after 3 years, and we should
Mhm.
do the same for,
I
this
think
group as
if
well.
we do that, then we need to do what we've done in other contracts where we say if you're presently employed, that because we have people who may have been hired under the contract with the assumption that they could have, or maybe currently in the process of doing something that is being reimbursed, we don't wanna take away
Mhm.
that benefit from someone if they're in progress.
You can just say starting on whatever date.
Yeah, like,
Like,
anyone
to
hired
receive
after
this
this
benefit
date.
after this date, yeah. You wouldn't wanna penalize people.
Yeah. Okay, so. The other, basically they'll say the other people are grandfathered in, the current employees, is that the term
say
we
like
use, or?
effective July
Effective,
1,
yeah.
2025, any new employee has to have an employment of 3 years. Or however it's worded in the contract, we'll just get the language of it.
Rob, you writing that note in there?
Yeah. So the line with ESP project including, here's that last part you said, was the,
So it's from the teacher's contract, so that you have to
Oh.
work here 3 years, but people, this is effective as 7/1/25. So the people who are already currently employees, who
Mhm.
are in the process of maybe getting a master's or some type of
So must work
degree.
3 years, and you said, the,
3 years of employment. We're gonna get the exact language from the teacher's contract.
I'm just gonna put a line language of teacher's contract.
Okay.
Stephanie, is there a cap on accumulated sick days?
Yes,
Where is, I didn't see it, I'm just trying to,
so it should be,
I could have missed it. Oh,
well,
I'm sorry,
it should be
135.
910 hours or 945.
Yep, 135
Oh, there it
days,
is.
Yes.
Okay.
sorry.
Well, that's gonna change my fiscal impact then.
Yeah,
$9.
because I believe ours was what, 935, because we're a 7-hour employees.
So it's 935 hours
Hours.
is the cap. Okay,
Yeah.
so no, then it does not change my fiscal impact. Never mind.
So do you wanna walk us through the fiscal impact statement?
Sure, I'm just trying to get mine to actually open. There it is.
Kenny, you sent that today, right?
Okay, yes.
I did.
So what we've done here is I tried to look at each of the items that were, discussed as being additions to, what is presently offered to anyone in the GCB. So, I used the base salary for, 2025. Oh, excuse me, I think it's 2026, let me just look.
Is this an email? This isn't attached.
She's an email.
Yeah,
it was sent.
you need it?
From Ken
around
at
2:30.
Like I
Okay.
said,
241, yeah.
I just sent it again.
You just forwarded it to me, yeah?
Yep.
Thanks.
And I apologize on that, I had had this done and was planning on just using it as a reference, I didn't realize I needed to send it as an attachment, that was 100% on me, so.
No.
So, I had the base salary, so what I used is, the 2025-2026 base salary, and in the original document that we had sent out, at the time we had talked about doing either $2,500 or $1,500, depending on the classification that they fell in GCB. But after working on the fiscal impact, my recommendation would be, if we were to move forward with this plan, is that we should do it as a straight percentage of what their salary is, based on the final year, so not 2026 salary, their 2025 salary, because we would be adding it to their 2026 salary. I think that is, there's more equity, it's more fair. It's an easier way to identify and be able to describe why they're getting the amount of money, because if we just take a straight number, 2,500 or 1,500, some people might get more, some people may have gotten less, depending on what their percentage that they would have gotten during their evaluation. So by collectively just deciding we believe that 1% is satisfactory or 2% is satisfactory, and then we would base that amount of money that would be added to their salary based on that percentage. So that would be my first recommendation, is to move away from the original numbers of 2,500 and 1,500 and make it 2% of whatever their 2025 salary was. So that is the number that is currently listed in column E, and that we can look at what the total number would be based on what was budgeted in fiscal 26 for merit pay. So just straight off the bat, we're just looking at merit pay versus what it would be paid out based on who would qualify for. We budgeted 87, it would be 77,491 would be the actual fiscal impact of it. We have people that wouldn't qualify, we've had people that left, so any new employees, we obviously wouldn't be rolling into this. So that's the reason why we have the reduction between what was in the budget and what would be the actual. Then the second piece is everything from F through J are all of the fringe benefits that now have to be calculated. So since we are adding that 2% to their base salary, we would have additional fringe. So we would have to add in pension, defined contribution, FICA, and Medicare. So that would add 18,133 to that total. So if we combine those two things, if we were to go through with this, we had budgeted 93,616 for merit pay in fiscal 26. That was approved in the budget. This would come with a cost of 95,625. So we would be slightly over budget for that fiscal year. Then moving forward, the only amount that would have to be in the budget would just be the fringe benefit, whatever the additional fringe benefit would be on any of those dollars. So that would be, we would be essentially using everything that we budgeted for in fiscal 26, but then in fiscal 27, when we look at the budget, we'd be probably somewhere closer to that, $18,000 range, taking into account any increases for the following year, maybe 20,000. That's all that we would see. That would be the fiscal impact moving forward
Every year.
every year.
And that doesn't include the longevity or the retirement.
That
right?
does
You
not.
put that
So
at the bottom.
that's just merit. So that's why I wanted to keep that separate, because that was probably the biggest impact to people, because the others are not currently in the it's not a benefit that they're currently getting. So this would have to be knowing fully that it would be an addition to and was not part of the budget discussion, since we started the GCB conversation after we were already doing the budget. So I hadn't factored in to our fiscal 26
wasn't,
budget.
yeah.
That wasn't anything that was discussed, so I wanted to keep that comparison separate. For the longevity, based on the
Just
data.
a clarifying question, why don't we have all the date of hires filled in on this?
So I put in the date of hires for the people who are close to reaching longevity.
I would like the whole thing filled in if possible. It would just be helpful to know. Cause you're not gonna be able to, it would just be helpful to have everything in one spot, I think. Okay.
So based on the information that we had, looking at the length of time, based on anyone who was already over that 5-year mark, the amount of longevity that we would, if we were to start this in July of 2025. So if we were to add this now to the budget, we would have to come up with an additional 14,500. So obviously, straight fiscal impact is, that's not in the budget. We don't have that, but if it's something that we wanna offer, we might wanna consider having it be, added in, say, beginning in fiscal 27, so that
Yeah, it
we can
can't
budget
be-
it. So it wouldn't be something that we'd be able to offer in fiscal 25, so it's just,
Six.
yeah, unless people were
You
feeling.
need FY 26, not 25.
Yes.
I was like, we're deaf, not going backwards.
Well, no, we're not, nope, we're done. Books are closed. And then the, only ones that we would have to also make that consideration for would be we only have 2 people who would be able.
Just, I'm sorry, back up one more time for
Sure.
longevity. So it's 14.5 for longevity, but then that gets rolled into their, does that get calculated in with their salary?
So that was.
Because it raises their base, right? Or
So,
no?
right now, some of it does. That is, I believe, something that we can decide, but I wanted clarification on that because I wasn't sure if that was like a requirement, that if it's longevity, it gets rolled into their base. I didn't know if that was like part of a union
Generally
contract or if that's,
Isn't,
I don't
could be
believe it is.
wrong.
I believe it's
'Cause
added.
if you get like let's say you get a 2% increase on your $100,000, but you're also getting 25, it's a good question.
So.
I didn't think it did, but
I don't think it does because when we
I
do
think it
payroll,
depends on how you do it.
it's a separate
Oh, yeah.
line item on all of our payroll. So like if they get X amount of dollars, they get their pay, they get all their stuff, and then
Yeah, so
longevity.
it probably isn't
That's
then.
how I
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
And I know if the ESP.
So I didn't factor anything else in on that.
ESP union, they get their longevity based on their date of hire, and
Mhm.
it's a separate, it
It's a
doesn't
stipend.
add on.
That's what I'm saying, it's like,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
separate
And
thing.
it would be
Instead, there shouldn't
15
be a
every year. And growing
And
or
growing
dropping?
because
That's why I
as
want
people
everything.
hit,
That's why,
That's
so.
but we
Increased
don't have a
dates.
picture of what's coming up on the horizon.
I could probably, just based on their date of hire, I could forecast out
Yeah.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, certainly do that. Provided everybody stays, we don't have any turnover, everything is fine. It's not,
I mean,
I'd rather see worse
yeah,
case.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we probably don't have good data to tell us like what the like percentage that leaves. Like if you really had good data, you could be like, oh, on average, like 1.7 administrators leave annually, or what, like something like that. But we don't. I would imagine we would not have that data.
no, and I mean, you could do something as blanket as, if we assume everybody here is gonna be, everybody who is not on here right now, who's a 0, is gonna hit 5 years, and we add that, you could put everybody who's blank right now at $1,000, making the assumption that they're all gonna stay to get to at least 5 years, and then roll everybody who's above that up 1 level. I'm
Mm-hmm.
happy to do it anyway, anyone would like to see it. But I can do like a worst case scenario, like in the next 3 years, this is what we anticipate. So a fiscal 27, a 28, and a 29,
Mhm.
this
I
is
think
what the
that's
numbers look
reasonable.
like.
So what's the total right now? If like it would be the two numbers added together.
Mhm.
Also, we're missing line 27. If you look at line 27 on the doc.
No, we're not missing it, it's because this
Yeah.
person wouldn't qualify for
Right.
any of those things, because this
Okay.
person right now wasn't here at the July 1st for the start date of getting the
Okay, so
merit,
make
and
sure
didn't
you
get the
don't
merit.
impact anything for the.
Right, so I purposefully did not have that
Okay.
in there.
But
But for forecasting,
yeah.
if we were to go out full 5 years, then that person would hit.
The following year.
Yeah,
Got it.
so this was looking at it as of right now, what we would be responsible for. And then, right now, for the retirement portion, so I have sick and retirement, I just wanted you to be able to see it separately. So one is a sick payout, and one would be the 15 days that we're offering, even though they're both part of retirement, I just wanted it to be visually separate. We only have 2 individuals who are even close to meeting that, so that's the only reason why there's only 2 people there, so we have.
Where is it on the line? Sorry.
It's like 6 and 7, it's way at the top.
8 and 9.
8 and 9, excuse me. So in line 8 and 9, there's only 2 individuals, so.
Oh, over on the right. Got
Yes,
it.
oh yes, all the way over, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's just like I was like, where is she? I was going down because then you have other things.
I
down.
have all kinds of things.
Yeah, I kind of follow your brain on spreadsheets, but that one I missed. Okay. So that is.
So even if I were to forecast out another 5 years, it
Yeah.
doesn't change.
Yeah.
So
Noted.
that one is pretty static right now.
Yeah, because those kick in at 10 years.
At 10
correct?
years, yeah. But I can certainly confirm and just make sure there's not like one or two who are gonna like pop up and surprise
Why
me,
wouldn't
but-
like the person hired in 2011?
You get a bunch at 218 too.
Because they have to meet retirement age, so that's the other
It's
piece
the
of it.
combo. Could we
It's the
just make?
combo.
Could you write that like on, like where it says sick? Could you write like just like I'm just thinking if someone else, if they ever looked at this document,
Yeah,
like would
date
not
and
know
age, yeah.
what you were like. You just like eligibility is determinate based on retirement age and 10 years. Like like just some sort of like key so people.
So I
we
usually
know
do
why.
assumptions at the bottom.
Yeah.
That when, like, so like if it's like a formal fiscal impact that we'll have to present with the policy, like
Yeah.
I'll put all those assumptions at the bottom so I can do that
Great.
ahead of time.
That would be helpful. All right, other things on this policy?
So the only other thing that I added, which again is not for this policy per se, but I know, I was not at the prior two meetings, but I know there was questions about, just questioning when we were talking about, I guess, the step increase, what like a typical step increase is for the teacher, when we were saying that if the teachers got a 0% increase, but they got step increase only, what would that account for? So that is, I just did a visual so that you could see using 25 step. If they were not to get any percent increase in 26, but they were just to move step, those are the percentage increase that they would get. That's their salary increase by just bumping a step.
Yep.
That was all. So that
But
was,
the top, like when you're thinking about compression, like administrator compression, the top never moves, right? Except for when the union, like when they get their percentage increase.
So,
So,
the
like-
steps at step 10, the 96.
Yeah.
right.
So like for example, like all of those move and that's fine, but like the top one only moves if they get the
Correct.
whatever they negotiated. And so like when you're thinking about salary compression with the administrators, like
So in that instance, my thought process
Yeah.
on, when I was putting this on paper, what I was thinking was intended by the contract was that if they said you're gonna get 0% increase except step 10 teachers who are gonna get 2%, then that 2% is what is negotiated in the teacher contract, which is what would extend to GCB. It would only be if there was a 0% across the board. And the only thing they were saying was step, which in that case would mean that step 10 teachers were getting no raise. So,
So you would have to change that, I think, in the.
Yeah, that does.
Because that's, yeah, I know what you're saying, in other words, so
Yeah.
if it's and that, sometimes they tier that, right? Everybody gets 0 except top step gets 2%.
because they know that they're getting the step increases.
right, so
But
my
if no-
understanding would
everyone
be
has
if it's
0 across
listed in
the
the
board.
contract, whatever it is, whether it's 1%, 10%, we would get something if it was listed in the contract. If it was not,
So what happens if everybody gets a 0 across the
then,
board?
then
They get
GCB
0.
would get
They would-
2%.
Huh?
That's when the language would kick in. Was that if there was 0 across the board and the only thing that teachers were getting was their step increase,
And
then
it would still get
GCB would get
2%.
a minimum of 2%.
Okay, so that's what this.
That's what that language was
Oh.
referring to. But the likelihood of, I guess my thought is the likelihood of that
Yep.
happening is very slim, because very rarely will you see a negotiation where they're not at least negotiating something for their step 10. Unless, do you guys disagree?
I follow you.
Never say never.
I know, but
Like
it's true.
I
This is
totally,
true.
in real world, like yes, of course, but also like on paper it looks not as nice. You know what I mean? Like leave happening very small, but like if it does happen, that means the administrators get an increase and the teachers don't. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that perception wise, even though very likely not to happen, might not be the vibe. So we might want to think through that.
But I think that was brought up because the teachers go up a step.
Yes, that's
right?
why,
So
that
the
was,
teachers are
that was
going-
what was
the
brought
teachers are
up
going up
during
a
the
step,
discussion.
which is equivalent to an increase.
Correct.
Only
So
for
then there would be a minimum increase.
only for 10 years though.
Yeah.
For
So-
GCB.
Only for 10 years though.
So I
Right.
think,
What do you
They
mean?
they cap out step 10, like you're done. Right?
So at step 10, right, once you're at step 10, you're at step 10.
Yeah. So if step I'm saying if step 10 gets 0,
If step 10
the
is getting
admin
0,
should get 0.
because that step 10 is where you start getting
Yeah,
closer to
that's when the
what
salary
that
compression
minimum
starts
salary
happening, which
is.
I believe,
Right.
like, you know, if your teacher, their highest level teacher goes up, the administration, like, that makes sense to me, but
Mhm.
what you currently have written is step 10 gets 0, administrators get 2%. That's where I'm saying, and what Leslie's saying is very unlikely to happen, which is very true, but like, perception wise.
Right, because then what you're doing is you're actually building something, right, so what that statement is.
Yeah,
you're
so I
actually
think
building
it's just
something
a matter of
in as a
rewording.
protection, which then doesn't look right
Yeah.
to
Right.
others, because there's no protection built into their contract.
Yeah, which is their choice. Like,
Right.
unions negotiate their contracts,
Right.
but, and they could see, if you change GCB, like, they'll know that.
Yeah.
And, but, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, very likely not to happen, so we just have to figure out what to do with that, so just maybe think it through, Ken, and then decide what you wanna put in.
Okay. Okay. I think that was all I had in terms of, oh, no, sorry, the degrees. So, when doing the fiscal impact, I did work it up and I did it a couple of different ways. I couldn't come up with a concrete number because that's not currently information that we collect, that I have access to for our employees, because they don't currently get, any type of degree, so I can't just go in our system and say, so-and-so has a master's, so-and-so has this, because some people don't provide it, like, at least not at the director level where we're required to have certain degrees to do our job, but, like, at the administrative level. So, my thought was, what is the most that someone could get? It's $1,000 if I put it in for every single person, saying every single person had that, this is what it would be $38,000. So, you know, that, the long and short of it is, if everybody had the highest amount that you could get, the fiscal impact would be $38,000.
A year.
Correct. And it wouldn't vary that much, because the difference between what you could get at the supervisory level and what you could get at the administrative level was, one was $750 and one was $1,000. So based on, I believe that the large majority of people on this list would qualify for that. So in terms of fiscal impact, I would say brace for if everybody got the highest amount, $38,000. That being said, I chose to take it out because I think there needs to be more thought put into this particular item, just in looking at equity and comparing it to the teacher's contract. We have a variety of people with a variety of different degrees, at all different levels, and the amount that was proposed in this contract that I did the fiscal impact on, but the amount that was proposed in here varies.
This policy, you mean?
Yeah, this policy is very different from what is in the teacher contract. It's also different from what is in the ESP contract, and so I think that, my recommendation would be it's not in the budget right now, and that it's something that needs to be talked about
Okay, what I said to
more.
Leslie earlier when I was looking at this with her is that the GCB policy covers two different groups of people.
Yeah.
Right? You have a group of people.
Folks that are required to have their masters and folks that aren't even
exactly.
required to have a
Right,
bachelor's.
right, so you have your director levels, and for most director positions you have to have a master's to get into it. So why would you then get a stipend for a master's, right? So it should be master's plus master's.
Which is like, I think
CADs,
what's written in there.
doctorate, right, and then I think that should get aligned to where are we with the teacher's contract. And then for those employees that don't require a specific degree, that should look different. So if they're coming in and we're not requiring a degree, but they have a bachelor's, then we consider a stipend for those positions. But then again, what is that going to be?
Could you
And that-
tier it with the, those 3 different levels that we had talked about ad nauseum last time, the, administrative, supervisory one? Yeah, like maybe tie it to that, cause I do agree with you, Ken, that like if your job requires you to have X, like it's not, like you're not getting the yeah, like it's that next step. We want you have your master's, we want you to go get your CAGs or whatever it might be, doctorate, whatever, yeah. So I think we're all in alignment on the intent. I think it's just figuring out the wordsmithing, because you're right, there's 2 different, like we want to make sure people are really clear on what it is, and also making sure that the district is getting what they're investing in, for lack of a better word.
And in the document, like when I originally started doing it, it is tiered out. It does say like administrative staff has to have an associate's, a bachelor's or a master's, and supervisory 1 and 2 has to be at a master's plus 15. So it was already broken out with the amounts. I think my
What page are you on?
page
Or you
10. It overlaps 10 and 11. So it did have it tiered in there, but I think, one, the amounts need to align to maybe the amounts don't align at all to either of the other contracts, and that was a concern that I had. But I based, when I was doing fiscal, off of the numbers that were in this document. Assuming, like I said, if everybody's at the highest, a master's plus 15, they get the 1,000, so that would be $38,000 at the most that it would cost every year. And I broke it out, so just my own notes to have, like, there are 9 individuals that fall into like the administrative category, so if everybody got the highest amount, which was a master's degree, it'd be $6,750 per year for that. And then obviously if all 30 or 29 of the other individuals got the $1,000, it would be $29,000, so breaking it up by tier.
Do we have any data on like how many employees take advantage of this annually? Because although I'm normally like all for planning for the worst case scenario, like in this case, like I think it is very unlikely that we would have 100%, as we have some folks that are, you know, at the highest level of, you know, education that they would be getting, et cetera. And so I'm curious, like if for the past 5 years only 20% have taken advantage of this benefit, then we probably shouldn't budget it at 100%, like as far as the impact.
No, and so for
like I know we have to be covered in case, but like realistically, like.
So if we were to move forward with this,
Yeah.
that would require getting the information from the individuals to like do a true fiscal impact and do a true budget. Like I would never just go in blind to this. Like if I were doing a budget, just assuming everybody was gonna have it, that's when I would have to really go in and look at every employee, look at their employment history, see what they have, to see if in fact they were eligible for something, and I would do it that way. So for purposes of this, like I wanted to say like, is this even something that's remotely like affordable this year moving forward? Like what would be the biggest impact we would have? But I would think that I can probably pull a report to see what teachers, like through teachers in ESP, and I can do a percentage for that, you know, based on those two groups, those two subsets where I have information and I know we're paying it out every year. I can pull that and I can look and see what the percentage is.
I just think it might be different though, because like if you're saying
It's too hard to figure out, make it simpler. You know what I mean? Like if it's too convoluted and complex that we need to run like a multitude of reports and do multiple, you know, like that's not gonna work in actuality when future budget people are trying to do things and future HR people are trying to do things. Like that's not the way to structure it to be efficient and effective. There's probably an easier way.
Okay.
Just something to think about, like if you're really thinking about like the nuances of those different levels, like that's a lot that we would have to annually continuously update and consider. That doesn't seem like the best choice, personally. But if it's consistent with what every other K-12 district does, then that's what we do. But if there's an easier way, maybe we should consider it. No worries. Did you hear what I said? Or do you want me to repeat it?
No, I heard.
Alright, just something to think about.
Looking at a way that we can simplify how we're gonna keep track of that.
Yeah.
and keep looking at it.
Yeah. And be able to predict, like, because every budget year you'd have to, like, in theory.
And
Do other districts compensate their administrative staff for degree stipends?
yes, in my previous district, we actually did it, so I'm familiar with it and have had to budget for it in the past. It's not easy, but it can certainly be done. You just kind of develop the system based on whatever the policy is that you've set and the standards that you've set, very similar to how you do like a teacher and a teacher step system.
Were they an outlier or is it common?
That I don't.
I'd say it's fairly common in education, I would guess.
For administrators?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And support staff?
We
Totally
like,
different world than business.
well, we like
I
education.
know.
We like education, so we
And
honor education.
This was based on what I was looking here, just on the fact that like a supervisory 1 and 2 is just one level. Like if you have a master's plus 15, regardless of what it is, you get this amount, is actually probably the simplest that you
How many
could
of the
go.
job requirements, so, and I'm not advocating for other, but how many of the job requirements like require you to have a bachelor's degree?
I don't know.
like in by the state or by
You're talking about like
Like us.
our particular
Very
thing.
few, probably.
have to go back with the job descriptions.
We'd have to look at them.
We'll
Yeah,
look at that
look at the
first.
job descriptions.
Mhm.
I don't,
And identify.
I mean, a lot of them will say like associates or bachelors or equivalent experience. I mean,
Mhm.
it really depends on the job. They don't, some of them do not require a bachelor's degree.
But we're asking for it, right?
What do you mean?
Like, if we're putting in our job description, we want you to have an associate's or a bachelor's.
Yeah, required versus preferred would be the differential. So if it's required, they'd have to show proof of said whatever,
Usually
but
it
it's
says
usually like
preferred or
yeah.
equivalent experience.
Yeah. Where are you getting? Where are you going?
I understand, like, with the higher degrees, like, but I feel like for a majority of these positions, like, the expectation is that there is when you're asking for a college degree, that you will have a college degree. And to pay a stipend for a job where the expectation is that you will have a degree, to me, seems weird. Again, I'm coming at it from the
Mhm.
business world, but it just is not.
That's what I was going back and saying, like, we shouldn't be providing a stipend for what's expected.
Mhm.
That, right, that
And
is.
if you're going above and beyond, then that's where the stipend comes in. So if we're saying you need to have
Is it per approval too?
associates
Like mine is
or
per approval. Like
bachelors,
But
it
but
should
also
be
too, to that point,
above.
right, like
Well, there has
if
to be
I
a
am
review,
a,
like, you would have to confirm that you do in fact have whatever it is that you're
If-
claiming you have.
if I'm a clerk
Okay,
in
you
the
have to get
food
pre-approval.
services,
Mhm.
like, and I'm just making this up, and I on my own go get a master's degree because I am hoping to go pursue a career as a biochemist.
typically we're making sure that that degree is in the field that you're currently
Well,
working
that,
in.
but like,
But
play
then
this
we would
through
need
with
to
me, right,
stipulate
like,
that too.
Yeah.
so.
Same as when
Policy.
we
you
say
need
we're
to.
going
Well, I just said you don't do pre-approval. Like I can't just go and be like, I'm gonna go get my like whatever.
Right.
Like my
Same with-
supervisor has to approve it
Yeah,
before
same with
I.
the
Yeah.
tuition
I'm
reimbursement.
struggling
We need to
with
write
this
that, though.
one.
The
That's
tuition
not right.
the
Yeah.
tuition reimbursement is
Has to
only
be,
when
right.
you are following
Yeah.
through with your
Right,
current position that you're in that career path.
yeah, or if I am a clerk in the food services and I happen to have a master's degree as a geochemist, and this is what I'm working for right now, right? Like, am I getting compensated for my master's? Like, this one I'm struggling with, and it has nothing to do with valuing the worth of the people that work here. It's just from a purely, like, business standpoint, which is where I come from, like,
Right.
these are the requirements of the job.
It should be that
Right.
you have your bachelor's, master's in that area that you're working, cause it's the same thing, if you go back and look at teacher contract, right? You're not getting a stipend for your master's because you got a master's in something other than work that's gonna support you as a.
As an
classroom teacher.
educator in this, yeah,
Mhm.
right. This
But then
sounds
does the
right.
same thing
Or
apply
administrative.
because, I mean, in the teacher contract, and I don't wanna be quoting the contract because I don't know, but I think you get credit for having like a bachelor's plus or a bachelor's.
No, just
Don't you? Is
masters.
it just
Yeah.
masters in the teacher?
They
Okay.
got rid of
So I was gonna say, cause that's the same thing, you have to have that to be able to do the job, so.
So we are not gonna
What-
pass this out of here today. So the next step is, I would like to see a clean contract with some of the questions,
Policy.
contract, policy, whatever.
It's important.
No,
it's
it
not
is,
like
it's a policy, I'd like to see a
not like
clean
it's
copy
not.
of this policy with the questions that we raised today that needed further research resolved, with the recommendations from you all incorporated into them. Erin, what else?
And the questions about the fiscal impact. Like
And-
there were some other things that Leslie was gonna look at.
Yeah.
Not the deep dive one, but like the looking out for the 27, 28, 29 for longevity.
Yeah.
You were gonna do that.
And I can do that, and then, is it
Yeah.
okay for me to then just like
Please.
do it and send it right out,
Please.
like I don't have to wait for another meeting? Or
No, yeah,
can
we
I-
like stuff.
We like
That's what I'm saying, like,
stuff
can I
in
just send it
yes.
to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go through like whatever was
No,
needed
I
to be
have my notes.
reviewed today from this meeting, have that ready, and let's.
And
get
happy
that.
to look at a draft of
Sent
the
out.
policy before the next
Yeah, and send
Like, I
questions.
think that's
If
like
you
the
all
red
send us a
line,
clean
let's
copy,
get-
we'll read it in ahead of time and send questions, so you all can talk through it before we get here.
Would it help for me to add that as a comment in terms of what we just expected
Yeah,
next time
yeah,
on there?
yeah.
Okay.
I'll add it right at the top.
So
Did
for
you
the
put a note
stipend
about the
piece,
language about the salary piece?
are we
Salary
looking for
piece.
more on it, or are we like pausing on it for the degrees, like?
I mean, you can bring forward your recommendation with the policy that you present to us.
So you've heard kind of like our conversation, the thoughts that we had, and so I think what Jen's saying is, you all write whatever you think is best, and then that's what we wanna see a clean copy of the next draft of just like whatever you all are proposing, like we've had conversations, we've tossed it around, you kind of like, you know, we've had some questions, and then just like at some point just pick like what you all think is what you would like to see passed, and then we'll take a look at that.
Clean copy of policy proposal, addressing questions.
I just don't know if you took a note, but we need to
Any
go back to
further
this.
questions on this one?
The what?
Oh, the salary, instead of just directly adding that salary blurb back in, we need to address the 0%, 2%.
Yes. Yeah, at least you
I
all
just
need
don't
to
know
think
if you
through what
can
you
Hold
want.
on.
Rob took
I
a note.
wrote that down.
Okay,
first of
yeah,
all.
I just didn't know Rob put it as a note.
Okay, I'd like to go over the health education student exclusion one. The proposed red line is in the drive under health education. IHAN proposed revision red line, last updated August 22nd. Rob, this was your
Yep, hold on
red
one
line.
sec. Health education, you said?
Okay, health education, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, my only question on this, I just changed like parents to guardians in one
Mhm.
spot. My only question on this was, basically what it looks like we're doing is combining the regulations with the policy, right?
Right.
We've added this, statutory language, for the opt-out.
Mhm.
And we've added the language that, schools will be responsible for notifying the families in advance of
Mhm.
the lesson so that families can opt out. This is for health education. Do we wanna define what in advance means?
Like in
And I
terms of a
don't know
time?
if we do, I'm just putting that out
Yeah.
there.
I would be a little hesitant to like specify like a number of days, you know, I think in advance kind of covers us like in advance, you know.
I know we have heard complaints that
Yeah.
that this opt-out has not been provided in a timely manner and or at all, so that's why I raise it.
Okay, do we wanna be more, do we wanna provide a day then?
I mean, I prefer things that are quantifiable, because then, like, if an appeal comes to the school committee or something, like,
Yeah.
like, everyone's interpretation of in advance can be different, and so I don't like putting the administration or the committee in those situations, and so, but also I would wanna be realistic
Mhm.
about what that expectation or time frame is, so
Mhm.
that would be my opinion on it. Like, I hear what you're saying, but also, like,
No, I hear you. 3 days? 1 week?
Like, what works, like, what is.
I guess I'm just thinking of like, again, cause we always go here with it, thinking of like, you know, worst case scenarios, if there's like, I don't know. I'm trying to like, you know, if there's something that,
Can we just put
Sure.
something out at the beginning of the year? Like, this is specific to the health curriculum.
Correct.
We know what is being taught in the health curriculum for each grade level. Can we send it out at the beginning of the school year?
do we need to
For-
specify beginning?
Well, I mean, if we're gonna put
but
a
this says,
timeline,
this
I would say.
sentence specifically says notifying families in advance of the aforementioned units and lessons, so like, this, we just have to change, if you're gonna do all of it, say there's like 5 or 6 that parents and guardians need to be notified of, like if you're doing all, this to me reads like you get the notification for
For
each one. Yeah, because it's not like an opt-out
Right,
for all of them.
Mhm.
So I hear what you're saying, Ken, but like I think we just have to change the language significantly, because I think this is basically saying, hey, next week in the health class
that's
for the
typically
high
how they do it.
school,
I was gonna say,
this
Yeah.
is what's up,
typically
if
we're
you don't want your
doing
kid
it
there,
now.
right,
please
like
let
we're
us know.
teaching this now,
Yeah.
or in a week,
Next week.
Yeah.
next week is when, yeah.
So what if we say within 2 weeks of the,
Isn't there is there a law that
That
this
feels
goes
long,
to?
2 weeks feels long.
There's no law about the
Give
length of
that-
time.
No, but like what is the
Like,
requirement that we're, like is there,
we're doing it now, right? Like,
Yeah, so
how
there's
do they do it
lessons that are
now?
taught that families have the option to
so there's
opt
these
out of.
3 that they get to opt out of from
Mhm.
the statutory, the sexuality and family life,
Mhm.
HIV and AIDS, and the characteristics, symptoms, and treatments of disease, so
Yep.
those 3, right?
Yep.
So,
right now we typically get it right before they're gonna be teaching a lesson. So if we say a
Correct.
week prior to the lesson being taught,
You know, week to me seems reasonable.
and we just do 1 week, that way a week
Okay.
prior, that way as
Yeah, so I get an email,
parent guardian
I have
sees that.
questions, I can email them, maybe set up a meeting to come talk to the teacher if I like wanted to, you know, like I'm just thinking about like if
There's
they're
not
trying to
time
make an
for anything
educated
needs to
decision,
happen.
yeah.
That was the only reason why I said 2 weeks before, because if there is something where
Yeah.
So
someone
it,
has
so
more
it,
questions,
maybe,
they have time
maybe
to
they replace in
discuss.
advance with at least 1 week in advance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cause I feel like 2 weeks might,
I don't wanna
like,
make the
bind
teachers.
the teacher,
yeah.
like that 2 weeks feels like
Yeah.
a lot for the teacher,
Yeah.
right?
But
And
then also, if you
yeah.
put at least 1 week,
Yeah.
that gives you, if the building administrator says, you know what, we're just gonna send out 1 email at the beginning of the school year, we know that it's gonna be these 3 things on these specific weeks, that still fits that criteria. It allows you to have that flexibility and that autonomy to make that decision.
Okay, I agree. So, at least 1 week in advance.
And then my only other question was, like, exclusion sounds like we are excluding the child.
Where are
Should
you
we,
now?
like,
Sorry.
That last sentence.
The last sentence
Students
in the name of the
excluded from health
policy.
instruction will be
Should we
expected
change
to-
it to opt out, because, like.
Students opting to, students,
and just change
Clear
the name of the
directions
policy as
for-
well.
Yeah,
students opting,
waiving or opting out students from these
Yeah.
lessons.
students who are waived / opted out from health instruction?
Students whose families,
Yep, students whose
Well-
families,
Isn't at some point, when the student turns 18, they get to make this decision themselves?
Yep. They get to review that's in the statute, they get to
Yeah.
review the curriculum and make their own decision.
Like the student does?
Yep.
Yeah.
okay,
So-
so students who
that's why
are,
it is the students whose parent / guardian opts them out, right?
No, but I'm
Or
saying,
the
like, if you're
student.
18, the student can opt
Yeah.
themselves out.
right, but I think most people will be opted out by their parents or guardians. But I can see, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying here, so if we say students who are waived / opted out from
Yeah.
health insurance, health insurance.
Health insurance.
Wrong policy round.
all
Instruction.
melding
It's all
together.
blended together.
Alright.
Yeah, so get rid of the word excluded. Will be expected to fulfill an independent assignment from the classroom teacher. Provided by the classroom teacher?
Sure.
I don't know, like, if people think from the classroom teacher sounds good, that's fine too.
Are we changing the name of the policy to from health education?
/
from-
student exclusion, okay.
To opt out?
So health
waiver?
education / student opt out?
Opt out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, exclusion is for,
I just threw comments in there in another spot in the policy.
okay.
Yeah, I
Or
like
is that
opt out
okay?
better than exclusion.
Okay, so this will eliminate the R regulation policy, change this policy.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on this one?
I would go back, I mean, I know we say classroom teacher, but I would, it's not always the classroom teacher teaching the health lesson. So I think it should
So
be
just teacher?
just teacher or health teacher,
Okay, or just from the teacher?
right, just so there's no
Just do
confusion
teacher,
from.
just
Yeah.
do teacher, don't do classroom. Cause yeah, if it's
The
the
teacher's
PE teacher in
perspective,
an
just don't
elementary
want-
school, it's
right.
not the classroom teacher.
Okay.
We don't care about how they get notified, right?
We don't care about how they get notified?
Yeah, like it's not, it doesn't have to be a letter or an email, it doesn't matter.
Usually comes out in a letter through an email.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
Usually
making sure like
says-
we don't like,
We usually try to stay away from like getting that specific, I think, like
Yeah.
with the method of
Yeah, yeah,
communication,
yeah.
only because something.
no, I was,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's in writing, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
But it doesn't say that. It just says that they're
Well,
notified
that's what I
one
was
week in
thinking when you
advance.
asked the question, I was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
thinking, you know,
okay.
you wouldn't want like a teacher to say, hey, everybody, you know, go home and tell your parents
Yeah,
I'm teaching this
yeah,
next
That's
week.
where
That
I
would
was,
be
that's
good.
where I was going
so
for.
notified at least 1 week in advance in writing,
I think so.
alright?
Yeah, but to me, that in writing is email,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever the.
Yeah.
It's
preferred.
like you said, it's not standing up in front of the class.
No,
and
it
saying,
should be in
oh,
writing, yeah, it should be
Yeah,
in
that's what, I
writing,
think just
100%.
specifying that is
Yep.
helpful.
Schools are responsible for notifying because it is 1 week in advance in writing of the, does that read already?
No, schools will be responsible for notifying families in writing at least one.
There you go.
When it says earlier, it shall be the policy of the North Kingstown School Committee that parents and guardians shall be advised that a health education curriculum is provided to all students at K-12, is it like good enough that it's in the handbooks? Like do we get a separate notification about your kid's gonna get health education?
Shall the policy be advised that a health curriculum be provided to all students from K to 12 and North be advised?
Oh, you're saying it's our policy that we are advising all parents that there is a health curriculum?
Mm-hmm. That's what it says.
Oh, here it is, it does say that.
But then I was thinking, like, if the curriculum's in the handbooks, I've been advised.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I was like, is it?
It's on the website, it's on the handbook.
It is in the handbook,
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm looking right now.
yeah.
Yeah, right? So we've been
just
advised.
read them all, I can
Yeah.
tell you it
Yeah.
says.
Yeah,
in
so
the
that's
handbook.
all. I just was noting, because that's different than
Yeah.
the opt-out. Like, that's just
Yeah.
telling them
Yes.
that they get health ed.
And it does say in that handbook too that you can opt out as
Mhm.
well, yeah.
Andrew, do we care that it doesn't specifically say children can opt themselves out if they're over 18? Are we just assuming that we don't care?
That they can't what?
Well, because it all is directed to parents and guardians.
I mean, you could certainly, by right, they have the
Yeah.
right to opt themselves out, I mean, but that.
I can change that language to
Yeah,
reflect the
what
one
we
in the
did in
other
the other one.
policy that we
Yeah.
did, I'm just gonna.
I know it's a
make it
small
little
portion,
bigger.
but
Yeah.
being that we're
Do we
talking
wanna
about students.
Add just an extra statement at the end, just saying, just covering that?
I'm
or
gonna
rather
change
than-
the language here, change the language, cause we
We
have.
did it in another policy, yeah. So, I know it's a small end, but there are
Students.
some students that it may affect.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll find that.
I'll make a motion to move this forward with changes.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Woo-hoo, we passed one. Okay, so. The only other one, Ken, I would like to ask that you review before the next meeting, the, proposed draft for the, where is it? Cultural respect and inclusive engagement policy. And be prepared to talk through questions.
And that is on there, where is that one?
That is in
It's
the draft
policies in
folder.
process.
Yep.
That one.
Under cultural appropriation, it's called I
So
am
this
the
goes back
one.
to when we started,
It's been
back a year
completely
ago.
changed, we're approaching it with a new.
so the May set out, the
August
August
22nd.
22nd.
Yep.
Go into it and put it to yourself instead of next time. Like if you hit share it with yourself and it'll bing in your inbox. Follow me for more Google things. I feel like the folders, like
Yep,
they
you're
get
in it. Okay.
buried.
Yeah, I'm just gonna print it right now, so.
So we had talked about, Ken, you weren't at the meeting, but, Rob and Erin
Mhm.
were, about meeting once a month for 2 hours. Is that what we talked about, Rob?
We definitely talked about meeting less
Definitely in
frequently,
favor once a
for
month, just
longer.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we,
But we felt like it takes a while to kind of like get in, like when we're doing these working meetings, like getting into the nitty gritty, and that we
Mhm.
sometimes like end up not being able to
Yeah, I'm-
have this
I'm-
fruitful conversation. So if we can't,
Okay.
less often, but for
Yeah.
longer,
So
it might be better.
what,
And we started talking about at like at 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from 5.
is
5 to
4:30 not?
4:30 is really hard for me. I know, like, cause I work till 4:30, so I have to like take time to get here for that time. I can't. It has to be better. I can't do it. I can't take that much vacation. So 5 to 6:30. Is that what you're proposing once a month?
Did you just say 5 to 6:30? No, 5 to 7.
5 to 7 once a month.
5 to 7 once a month.
When do we have budget? Because that's a Monday. I just wanna make sure we'll do that, because budget's gonna be a
Budget's-
Monday, this is a Monday, but we're only meeting once now, so that's extremely helpful. So we'll just make sure we're scheduling on and off, and I'm meeting with,
We don't have any meetings.
We don't
scheduled.
have the meeting scheduled,
Yeah,
but
I
we
was gonna
can
talk to
just
you
take
about
this.
that.
yeah, and I'm meeting with Stephanie tomorrow to start drafting up what we have to put forward, so.
Okay.
So you wanna know what meeting schedule? For policy or for?
I was gonna just talk to you in general about all of them to make sure
Okay.
we have a good plan.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure, because we have.
Just pick your next
budget on
meeting, Jen.
Mondays
Just
and
tell us when you
policy
want us
on
to
Monday.
Okay, so today is August 25th, so I'm gonna say September 22nd. Yes?
I'm definitely not here, hold on.
I have to check something too, I'm sorry.
And I'll come with a proposed draft for the year there.
I think it's 5/7.
Oh yeah, I am back.
Yes, does
That
that work?
works.
Yeah, I just have to
Works
check
for me.
something on my.
Can,
Well, Rob's here, so we're good. I just need one of you.
yeah. Jen, can I make a request?
Yes.
Can we put, the parent and family engagement policy, like, up a little higher? I just know, like, maybe for the 22nd.
Yes. Yeah, I'll move that up to the, like the
Is that
second
the one that we
after
just
GCB.
that we have to approve annually?
No, that was Lydia had, made some revisions. My only thought was that we would blow through the technology ones, cause they were all like
Yeah.
just, but yeah, I'll move that up above
Well, the
those.
technology ones, we have to make sure that the cell phone piece is getting incorporated, which that may take some time.
We have
That'll be
until,
its own policy.
You get-
yeah,
Next
that's
year.
gonna be
And
by
that,
itself.
we don't need that till 2026.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we need to implement it 2026, so we
Yes.
can pass it this
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
ideally we
told
would
him we
pass it by
definitely need
May.
to talk about that, but I
Yeah.
wanted to like have a conversation about.
So you wanna have that as a standalone?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
that needs to be its own standalone policy, for sure.
Okay.
Same with AI, we can't talk about
Yeah.
either of those because they're not.
No, we can't talk
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
but these, like, you and Chaz had already had these these just need us to look at them and say yes,
Right,
but yes,
those
I
should
will
be-
move I will move that up.
in theory, we should
In
be able to
theory.
get through them.
Theory.
Do you also need a
So-
motion to get rid of IHAMR, or like
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I-
would make a motion to
recommend to the school
recommend
committee
the school
to?
committee that we delete IHAMR, can I get a second?
second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Can we just go back to this meeting? I'm just so I can get an idea, because I'm meeting with Stephanie tomorrow regarding meetings. So if we're gonna meet September 22nd as our next meeting, are we willing to say then the fourth Monday of every month is going to be policy?
Is it the fourth? I was thinking it was the third.
That's the way it falls in September, but it may not.
Yeah,
It's just
September's
September's a
because
long.
August was long. No, August was long.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, September we end up having.
4th in September.
1, 2, 3.
I personally
It's
hate
5
saying like
weeks
the
in
whatever,
September.
like it never works because then you hit a holiday and then you hit like it sounds cute to be like, oh, it's the fourth like
Yeah.
Monday or whatever, and then
I
it
will put
immediately
together
gets
a
messed up.
draft and
Okay,
send it to
I just wanna make sure,
Stephanie.
because if we do
Yeah.
that, then we can get the dates for budget on there as well.
Yeah,
for
I
what
will put
Monday.
together a draft, and what time are you meeting with her tomorrow?
Not until the 12th.
Okay, I will have a draft over tomorrow morning.
Okay, thank you. And if you don't, it's okay, we're just trying to get.
You already made it. I'm just saying, you're fast. We
Okay.
appreciate your efficiency. All right, can we make a motion
I'll
to
make a
adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
Second.